this is not matching the title of this video. Back to CampGeeks. I'm back with another video review, and this is on something that is, I can't say is a necessity, but is definitely something that is nice to have with you. And a lot of times those items are a little too bulky, maybe a little too heavy to really justify, especially if you're backpacking. But if you're just camping or off for a light hike, things like that, or a short backpacking excursion, this might be something that you definitely would carry with you. However, in this case, because it is so light, this is something that anybody could take with them. And that is the Deuce of Spades. Now, the Deuce of Spades is essentially a poop shovel. It's what it is. It's meant for you when you take the number 2, or even the number 1, to be honest. If you want to actually dig up the ground with your heel, you can and everything, but it's a lot easier if you have a tool for the job. And this is a very ultra lightweight way to do that. And as you can see, I just have it rubber banded to my Nalgene model because it's so paper thin. 0.6 ounces on this guy, so really light. And they just opened up and they have a new series. This is this traditional Deuce of Spades. This is now, I think, the Deuce of Spades number, or the Spade number 2, the Deuce number 2. They also have number 1 and the number 3, which is basically smaller and bigger. So they do have a few different options for you out there. Now, we're going to go outside now that it actually is warm enough and the ground is a little bit softer and it's no longer frost in the ground. And we're going to show you how it actually works, because it's not just a traditional just scoop shovel. It has 2 ends, and both ends are usable in this. The smaller end, because you're putting a lot more force on a smaller area, is great for harder ground, or if you hit more roots or something like that. You can use either end of this guy, but it does scoop really easily, and the best part about it is it packs up good. Now, they do offer it in a whole bunch of different colors. I actually have it in blue and red. They're the exact same item. I will say one other thing as well. These are right here, the ones that I have are actually made by DAC Aluminum. The guy who actually invented this actually is from Colorado. He actually has, some of these are actually made in Colorado, and the other ones are made by DAC. To be honest, if it's made by DAC, I'm not gonna care because I know it's a quality product. But that is something, if you actually purchase one of these and it doesn't say DAC Aluminum on it, don't worry about it. It'll say made in Colorado on it. So USA made versus DAC made, whatever. But that's it. Let's head outside and let's dig a little hole and do a little test. Well, they said it was going to get like 60 degrees out. It's like 58, but it feels awesome out here. It's great to get out of winter finally, although it sounds like it's going to go back into it for us. But either way, I typically like to have, when I'm actually looking for a spot, something that's off to the side, something that if I'm squatting, something that I can kind of push my hand against, and yeah, I'm just going to sit right here. So it doesn't matter which one I do it with, to be honest, but essentially all you're going to do is shovel it up. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you keep the dirt handy, because you're going to obviously fill the hole back in. Now, whenever you do this, you're going to want to make sure you go deep enough so that things aren't digging it up. And so we're going to want to make sure that we're away from any kind of runoff. In this area that I'm at the higher ground, all the rain's going to be over there. We're just going to run over there. And I know this is higher ground here because I obviously live here, but you're going to want to make sure that this is about 6 to 8 inches deep, 4 to 6 inches wide. You don't want to go too big, but you don't want to go too small too. And we want to make sure that we are deep enough. And then you can see in my case, this is definitely looser soil, so using the larger end is going just fine. They do have this point on it, so it does cut through things decently. But if you run into ground or soil that is harder, like obviously time of year where it's dried out or when you're in more dry or arid conditions, that's when you want to use the smaller end because it'll actually pop through things a lot easier. In this case, I have, oh, that's big root right there. So that's what this end specifically right here is definitely meant for more. And then this side is obviously the better scoop because it is larger. But yeah, that's you know, this hole that I have here right now is pretty close to big enough. Let me bring in here a little closer too. So as you can see here, I mean, I can scoop all I want, but as long as I feel like I'm big enough, and really the diameter of the hole is more of, I guess obviously if you're seasoned in pooing into a hole, you're not going to have to go as deep or as big around, but you definitely want to get it down there in terms of depth, so you're definitely deep enough where things aren't digging it up and going through that way. That way it has its time to decompose over time. And then so when you are done doing your duty, it's not actually poop, but an old banana. Then all we're going to do is take the scoop, put it back to its rightful spot for its dirt. And then what I usually like to do is, if you have, leaves and stuff around, scatter around, I always like to make sure that it doesn't look like I was here at all. Make it look more accurate, more like it's supposed to in nature. And this is a lot better than doing it under a rock, because you may go do under that rock, but the next person may think the exact same thing. Don't just lift up a rock and do your business and put a rock back on top of it. Do the right thing, put it in the ground. So that is the Deuce of Spades, or what is traditionally now, I guess, known as the Deuce of Spades number 2. So I want to mention again, they do have the 1, 2, and 3. And from everything that I can see is the number 2 is the same shape and everything as the original here that I have. However, it does look like they have some small serrations that they kind of file into it. You could file that into this as well. So if you have an original one, just keep going with it. There's no real reason to upgrade that I can see. The number 1 is the smaller version, and the number 3 is the bigger, heavier version. Something to keep in mind. While I did show a little bit that this is the scooping end, and then the smaller handle side is where you would use to actually push in and break hard soil or break down in. You're not going to push in it and actually do this with it, with the smaller end, because you have a good risk of bending it. The larger area here is going to be a lot better for that. So that's to keep in mind real quick as well. And that's going to be probably for the number 1 or the number 2, to be honest. Number 3, it looks like it is thicker too, so it is definitely a little bit stronger than these guys. But if weight is everything, I think the number 2 is the perfect size. It is very thin, so if you're going to put very hard, and if it's really hard compacted soil, which I didn't have, then all you have to do is just take a stick or something and push it between your hand and this the item here, the actual edge of it, so you're not pushing it into the palm of your hand. Pretty quick and easy. Just grab something off the ground to put between you and the actual shovel. So if you actually do have to push it in to break up either direction, it just keeps you from putting a lot of discomfort into your hand, maybe is the best way to put it. So, like I said, they do have the American-made version and the Korean DAC-made version. I wouldn't really care which way the other, because these are the Korean DAC-made, and these are awesome. So, I want to say thank you to Mike at the Tent Lab for sending these over, because these are fantastic. Like I said, I did actually make this video last fall. Didn't come through. I did like the look of it, so I remade it this spring now that it's no longer frosty outside. But I have used these on a couple trips, and they are awesome. They're very handy. And the ease of just keeping it with you without taking any more bulky space is fantastic. Like I said, I like to actually keep one of these on the outside of my pack, just slipped into like where the water bottle holder is, or on the outside mesh part. Just stick it in there. It's lightweight. It's not going to go anywhere, to be honest. Pretty awesome. So I will put links where you can check these out online, directly to the Tent Lab's website as well. It's just thetentlab.com. It's even stamped on these guys. If you have any questions at all, please post those below. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, like it, give it a good thumbs up if you like it here, and make sure that you come back, because I have a lot more coming. So if you hit the little alert button down there next to the subscribe button, you are going to be alerted to the videos as they come out, as you probably are aware from other channels. I do have some awesome videos coming, so make sure you check back, make sure you subscribe. That way we build our user database here. And catch you soon here for another product review on CampGeeks. Thanks for stopping by.